I'm delighted today to be joined by Evan Kirstel, who's a tech influencer and evangelist specializing in enterprise tech and B2B social media. Thanks a lot for taking the time to join us today, Evan.
Delighted to be here. Huge fans of you guys, have been for years. So always love to chat.
Fantastic. Well, that's brilliant. Would you mind just starting by telling us a little bit about yourself?
Well, I've been around enterprise tech and telecom for 30 years. So I've recently turned 50. So I'm feeling pretty old. But in the process, have built a lot of relationships and insights and experiences in the industry. And I just love sharing those with the world through social.
Fantastic. You've appeared on a lot of our lists in the past. So yeah, feel like we've known each other for a while now. But I just wanted to talk about the report that we recently featured you in. We did a Who's Who in Unified Communications report, which is like a top influential voices and brands talking around the topic of unified communications. And as you can see here, you appeared on page 5 under social amplifiers. Do you know any of these people that are featured in the report as well? Are you connected to them as well?
Oh, yeah. Great people on the list. I see Mark Roberts, who's the CMO, Rich Tarani, who's been in the industry longer than I have. Really a who's who of our industry, and also lots of new faces. So the thing I love about social and what you do is really connecting the dots between influencers and advocates and marketing evangelists and journalists. So it's great to see these lists.
Fantastic. The other thing I just wanted to show people is your profile in the Analytica platform. So this is what our clients who pay to use our software will see. So here you can see we have you tagged as working in the technology industry. We have your roles as tech professional, marketing professional, event speaker, and professional influencer. And we have some links to your various social profiles here as well. Here we can see your audience size and engagement and authority scores. A bit further down, we can see how many times per month you post on LinkedIn and Twitter, and your average engagement per post and your audience size on those platforms as well. We've also got here your most engaged network and some of the thought leadership topics that you talk about. And this is quite interesting as well. This is who you're engaged with. So your audience is primarily senior management, entrepreneurs, and C-suite executives, primarily in the technology industry, but also a bit in the finance and media industries as well. And these are some of the brands that you've mentioned in the last 180 days. We can also dig a little bit deeper into your content here. So here we can see a word cloud of some of your key topics on Twitter and some of your posts and hashtags there as well. But if we also wanted to dig into your activity on LinkedIn, we can see how many times you post per month, your average reactions per post, number of comments and average engagements, etc.
Well, you know more about me than I do. This is fantastic.
Yeah, that's our job. So yeah, I'm glad we do.
It really is a fantastic representation of social and digital presence. And there's really a gap in the market. No one else is putting this data together in such a meaningful and insightful way. So thanks for what you do. Well, I'm a typical geek, so a lot of emerging technology and new technology, whether it's in the crypto space. I have my own cryptocurrency called B2B, which is on the Rally Ethereum blockchain. But everything from 5G to the work from home phenomenon through to the Internet of Things, anything that's connected and intelligent these days is pretty fascinating to me. Well, I think it's convergence, of multiple technologies. Your automobile is a computer on wheels that's connected to multiple wireless networks now and has intelligence on boards. So I think the convergence of industries, whether it's traditional tech with consumer tech or professional devices that we now use at home for things like video and collaboration. What's fascinating, I think, is just the rapid adoption of technology in industries that were maybe a decade behind pre-pandemic. We've seen this kind of digital catch-up. We call it digital transformation. But it's amazing how rapidly industries are evolving and changing, whether it's retail, education, healthcare. The revolution is pretty shocking and amazing to watch unfold.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Well, most of the innovation is happening at two layers. The big tech level, there's just tons of R&D and investment dollars put in, whether it's Tesla, Microsoft, Google, all the usual suspects. But I also find small, focused, niche, nimble companies are also innovating at unprecedented scale, leveraging platforms for collaboration and cloud and distributed working to really punch above their weight weight level, as it were. So yeah, I think innovation now is coming from all angles. It's no longer just a domain of big tech, but that's where a lot of the excitement is for sure. Well, our whole lives have been upended, and we're going to go back to some sort of hybrid work model pretty soon. But I don't think we're going back to life pre-pandemic. I think our senses, our beliefs, our values have been upended. Certainly, our comfort with technology like Teams or Zoom that we're on now has changed fundamentally. Our relationship with technology and between people has changed a lot. So I see a pretty radically different world over the next 2-3 years, both in terms of the way we adopt and think about technology and the way it's deployed, consumed, but also in our, psyche. It's been quite a shock, to say the least. And, the whole industrial world has been upended from supply chain to security to, even manufacturing now. It has been impacted by all these changes. And so I think the new, word of the century is kind of resilience and adaptability.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, it's no question. I've seen my own personal anecdotal numbers, just surge in terms of engagement, now real engagement. So people really stepping in, whether it's voice, text, video, what have you, regardless of platform, people are tuned in, they're clued in. They're not just dialing it in, as we used to say, when it comes to social media. And so it's taken on a new importance, a new role, new dangers, presented, whether it's political instability or cyber insecurity challenges. But for better and worse, social media is now our de facto default go-to for content consumption as well as creation. And that's forced many companies to kind of throw out the blueprint for marketing and sales that they've had in the past and kind of write a new one.
Yeah, definitely, especially in the events industry with that going virtual. We've seen a lot of innovation with virtual events.
Generally, I'd say, anything to do with health and wellness and taking more control over your responsibility for health, wellness, and data. So I have this, Aura ring that monitors my sleep and movement and temperature and heart rate and other things. An Apple Watch that does many of the same things. I'm really fascinated by the intersection of tech and health. And so that's been really fun to learn about and to experience firsthand as a consumer. And of course, during the pandemic, things like telehealth and telemedicine have moved to the fore. So that's been fascinating. And travel, really looking forward to get back to travel. It's been one of my favorite hobbies, personally, professionally, over the decades, and I really miss it. And so I look forward to more creative ways to travel, whether it's through Airbnb or car sharing and visiting new and interesting places, not just the usual tech destinations like New York or London or Dubai, but kind of maybe some of the interesting tech innovations that are happening in emerging countries even. So yeah, it's sort of what I enjoy doing. The best way is your choice. I'm literally everywhere. I'm on Clubhouse. I'm on Instagram. I'm on Twitter Spaces. I'm on Twitter. I'm on Facebook and LinkedIn. And you can, of course, email me at kirstel@gmail.com. But, Twitter's my favorite daily destination. So look forward to seeing you there.
Fantastic. All right. Well, that brings us to the end of the interview. Thank you so much for taking the time to speak to us today, Evan.
Thank you, and keep up the great work.